Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us at the annual meeting of the Friends of the Rochester Hills Public Library. I'd like to introduce Ron Megan, board member of the Friends of the Rochester Hills Public Library for 10 years, with 2 years served as vice president and 8 years served as president, which remains his position today. So everyone, please welcome Ron Megan.
Welcome.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us on this first ever Zoom annual meeting. Everybody's been doing things a lot differently this year, and we're no exception. So thank you for joining us, and hope you'll learn a few things about what your friends have been doing in this past year. The agenda, please.
The agenda, absolutely. Here we are.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the board election process. Then I'm going to go ahead and introduce board members that are on the, well, I'm going to introduce everybody. Some of them are on, some of them weren't able to join us tonight. We have 2 open positions this year that we're going to need to fill. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Sandy Tabaki will come on and talk about our minutes from our last year's meeting. And then John Coombs will give us the financial report for this past year. We've got a little bit of a change here when it's on the agenda. It says presentation of $160,000 check to the library. We're actually going to present $170,000 this year. So keep that in mind when we get to that point. Julianne will have some comments from the director, and then Madge Lawson has asked that she could share a few things from the library board. I'll spend some time talking about what we've done over this past year. And then I will also talk about the volunteer of the year, which we do every year. We're going to have Sandy come back at that time and announce the election results for our 2 open spots on the board. And then I want to talk a little bit about the fact that next year is the 60th anniversary for the Friends. Then we'll adjourn and you can go back to the debate. So that's where we stand right now. So just to talk a little bit about the discussion of the board members and the election process. In the bylaws of the Friends, it states that members of the board must be members of the corporation, meaning they have to be Friends members. They shall be elected by a simple majority ballot to serve 3-year staggered terms, and they shall be elected at the annual meeting and serve as board members elect until their term begins on January 1st of the succeeding year. A slate of candidates for director shall be presented at the annual meeting in October. Additional nominations shall be permitted from the floor during the election at the annual meeting, provided, number 1, that the candidates are members of the Friends, and number 2, that they agree to serve and to fulfill the director obligations. Obviously, on a Zoom meeting, it's a little difficult to accomplish the nominations from the floor. So the way we thought we'd handle that is if anyone has someone that they would like to nominate from the floor for one of the 2 positions that are to be filled, use the chat and we'll keep track of that if any names come up. So that's the process. And while we're waiting for that to occur, I'm going to talk a little bit about the board members. So Joe, if you could put up the next slide about the board members.
Absolutely. Share.
Okay. This is our list. I am the president of the board. Bill Kroger, who's on the call tonight, is our vice president. Our secretary, Sandy Tabaki, is also on, along with John Coombs, our treasurer. Our assistant treasurer, Jack Caldwell, is planning to join, but I don't know if we've seen him come into the system yet. And then we have 4 board members of the 9 that are at large, we call them: Tom Asmus, Marcia Decker, Kimberly Mattis, and Kim Whitney. I know both Kimberly and Kim are on the line. I'm not sure yet if Marcia and Tom have been able to join us yet. And then we have what we call our ex officio board members. These are people who are invited to every board meeting, but they are not voting members for any business that we would be performing. Our library director, Julianne Morian, is one of those members. She's on the call. The director of our used book sales, Ann Grunwald, is not on this call but she is had a family obligation that she had to meet tonight. But she is one of our key people, as we'll talk a little bit later, the fact that our used book sales are the backbone of our fundraising process. Our lobby book cart is coordinated by Teresa Megan. She's on the call tonight. The Friends Store, Darlene Tomsek, and Darlene is with us. Our Friends membership are handled by Connie Livingston and Leanne Rogers. Our publicity man is John Smintek, who I know is on, and our newsletter is covered by Tim Schulte. So those are the people that are try to keep this Friends operation running. We're always open for any inputs that any of you might have for us, so feel free to contact any one of us along the way. So if you see there's two names on here that are highlighted in yellow, Kimberly Mattis and Bill Kroger, they are the ones whose terms of office have expired this year. And they have both agreed that they would submit for another 3-year term of office and are up for ballot on this particular evening. And I don't know if, I see there's one chat there, but I don't know. Okay, I guess that's it. Haven't seen any additional nominations. So what we're going to do, again, to try to handle this a little bit through our Zoom process, is we're going to allow you to vote no if you don't want either Kimberly or Bill to be a director. If you don't vote no, we're going to assume that you had a yes vote. And Sandy's going to keep track of any no votes that we get to your chat. And at the end of the evening, she will, and we will count that along with the number of people that we know are on the call. And that will be our process to determine a simple majority for approving Kimberly and Bill as our board members for another 3-year term. With that, I will turn it over to Sandy to talk about the minutes from the 2019 meeting. Now, you did get a set of minutes that were sent out to you when we sent out the email blast. Those have been modified a little bit, and Sandy will talk a little bit about that as she goes through her process.
Okay. The meeting was called to order at 6 o'clock on October 24th, 2019, and all board members were present. Ron spoke of the loss of Pauline Barlow, who had passed shortly before that. She was dedicated to the used book sales and chaired that for many years. The minutes were approved. They were received and filed. The treasurer's report was given, showing a profit of $75,224. Christine Haig gave the library director's report and thanked us for the nice check that we presented to her. Those monies pay for programs, newsletters, and more. The president gave his report, summarized the yearly review of different Friends events, and those that were still upcoming, which now have passed. The officers were introduced and unanimously approved. The volunteer of the year last year was Sue Falvo, who works in the store. The meeting was adjourned at 6:35, preceding a program by Frank Cardeman in the multipurpose room. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Welcome.
John Coombs, our financial report.
Joe, you want to cue that up? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks again to all who have tuned in for our first ever virtual annual meeting. I just want to preface the numbers here before we start going through them. We are reporting the numbers every year on a 12-month period beginning September 1st through August 31st of the following year. And the numbers that you'll see as we go through them for this past 12-month period have been affected quite a bit by the pandemic, as most of you can probably expect. And particularly with the store, you'll see as we go through the numbers that the store actually had a loss for the year, but you'll see that as we go through the numbers. So let's go quickly through the numbers. The top of the list under income, under used book sales, we had $98,821. In fundraising events, we brought in $17,081. We brought in $8,528 in membership dues. Through miscellaneous donations, we had $15,940. And then the net sales from the store before expenses were $41,674 for a total revenue of $182,044. And you can see the prior year's numbers to the right of that were down by about $86,000 and change, all due to the pandemic. So under expenses, for supplies and other expense, we paid out $5,239. There were $911 paid for postage. Sales tax that we remit to the state of Michigan was $5,052. The cost of goods sold from the store was $48,144. And then the total general operating expenses for the store were $2,134 for a total of $61,480. So that gives us an excess of revenue over expenses before our contribution to the library of $120,564. Now, we gave the library last year $185,000. That's according to the bylaws that we operate under. So that resulted in a net loss for the year, but the 12-month period, of $64,436. So you can see how that compares to the prior year of a profit of $75,000. So there's a swing of almost $140,000 from the prior 12 months. Again, all due to the pandemic. And if anyone has any questions, they can submit those in the chat box, and we'll try and get them answered before the end of tonight's meeting. And I will turn this over to Julianne.
Actually,
I'll turn it back over to Ron.
You're going to turn it back over to me, yeah. Okay, so we, as you can see, we've got a lot of money that we've in red there in that report that John just presented. But yet we're going to give a check of $170,000 to the library this year. So how can that be? Well, our process is to every year we take a look at our fund balance at that point in time, and we take 80% of that, and we say that's what we're going to give the following year. And the reason we do that is because the library needs to know what the friends might be giving them in order to do all their budget planning. So, and they usually do that in the springtime, early summertime, getting ready for the following year. So it's incumbent upon us to tell them how much we're going to be able to give so that they know how much they can plan on from the friends. So in that April timeframe, we determine what our our fund balance is, and that's money that we've taken in the previous year. We set 80% of that as the amount we're going to give the library the following year, so a year and a half from that point in time. So back in the spring of 2019, we were determining what we were going to be giving this fall, 2020, to the library, and that's where the $170,000 comes from. So with that being said, Julianne, the Friends of the Library, would like to present the library with a check of $170,000. You can see it on the screen here. This is one that you can't try to cash. But very soon you will have an official one from Chase Bank that Jack Caldwell will be writing for you that you can take to the bank.
Wonderful. Honestly, this is just, it's truly amazing. In a year with such uncertainty, to have this level of foundational support from our Friends group is truly wonderful. So thank you. Thank you, Ron. Thank you to the Friends board. Thank you to all of the members for being just such steadfast supporters of the library and gifting us with an amazing donation this year. I think many of you have figured it out. We went into this week thinking that the formula yielded $160,000. So I was absolutely amazed to get a call from Ron saying, oh, we were off on the calculations and it's actually $170,000 that we'll be gifting the library. And again, in a year where we have had so many roller coasters of unexpected things being thrown at us, it's truly tremendous to have a Friends group as vibrant as yours come and support us in this way. And it has been a challenging year. If you'll indulge me, I want to start actually with a very quick story. As many of you know, this is my first year serving as library director. And when I first joined this library back in December, I received a tour of the area where the Friends process their incoming donations. And I can remember touring that area and remarking how sophisticated the system was. And I remember saying, this is beyond a volunteer organization. This is enterprise level logistics planning that could rival Amazon or Walmart warehouses. And yet it is being done with volunteers, amazing volunteers. So thank you to the Friends for all of your high level planning, your big ideas, your big events, your big fundraisers that you coordinate. But also thank you for all the small details and the specialized work that makes this organization so extraordinary. I notice your contributions on a daily basis. You come with a smile on your face when you have to trudge through the snow or you receive and unpack those heavy boxes in the sweltering heat of summer. You are so thoughtful in your meetings. You always come prepared and you're accountable in your record keeping. You practice safe work habits, which means a lot to me, and you adhere to all these new COVID rules that are in place. You hold yourself to high ideals and strong advocacy, and you remain a positive force in our community. Thank you for staying committed to this library, even when this past year has been really tough. We appreciate all you do. So now, with Joe's help, I would like to show a video that we created for the Friends of RHPL, and we will be distributing it on our library channels, our social media channels throughout the week. And we encourage you guys to take it on your Friends channel and share it to the membership at wide. So let's give that a viewing.
The Rochester Hills Public Library is fortunate to have such a wonderful group of volunteers known as the Friends of RHPL. With nearly 800 members, Friends of RHPL work together each year to raise funds to support the library in a variety of ways. Founded in 1961, Friends of RHPL believes in strengthening relationships between the library and patrons, promoting knowledge and interest in the library, and raising funds to expand and improve the library's services and resources. For nearly 60 years, Friends have raised funds through membership dues and events like Wine, Wit, and Wisdom and the Holiday Home Tour, through used book sales, gift shop sales, and much more. Over the last 10 years, Friends of RHPL have donated over $1 million to the library. They are true ambassadors and they are truly amazing. Their funds help support aquarium maintenance, summer reading, concerts, programs for children, teens, and adults, the library newsletter, and so much more. The staff at the Rochester Hills Public Library thank the Friends of RHPL for all of their hard work, determination, and support. We are a stronger organization because of our friends who donate their time, talent, and resources to make the Rochester Hills Public Library a vital part of the community. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Joe. So again, we'll be making that available through all of our social medias, and we encourage you to share that at wide. To summarize, just a simple thank you, but it's a big thank you from my heart. Thank you again for your time, your talent, your resources, your energy, everything you do that you devote to the library. It means so much to me. And now I would like to introduce the Rochester Hills Public Library Board President, Madge Lawson, who would also like to share a few words.
Hi there. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Rochester Hills Public Library, I would like to offer a special tribute to the Friends as you approach your 60th year of service to the library and to the greater Rochester community. Through your countless hours of service and success in raising millions of dollars over the years, you are truly our library ambassadors to our community. Your purchase of the Community Bookmobile continues to provide greater access to library materials and services to those limited by geography, ability, or economic status. You have generously underwritten portions of the staff development budget and helped the library acquire new equipment and furnishings. Steadfast in your fundraising efforts, you enable us to offer interesting and helpful community programming and special events throughout the year. As you approach your 60th year of incorporation, you remain creative and successful in your endeavors in the ability to engage and attract community involvement and support. In an era where knowledge and trusted information are more essential than ever, the Friends of the Rochester Hills Public Library have been vital to ensuring the library is a valued resource for all residents of our community. I thank you for your heartfelt contributions and wish you continued success in the years ahead.
Thanks, Madge. And that's coming from someone who used to be on the board years ago. So she's from a Friends board member position and from a book sale person, and as well as a library board member. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, now it's up to me to tell you a little bit about what's been going on over this past year. You know, this Zoom meeting is a different way of doing things, but then a lot of the stuff that we've done this past year has been different. October of 2019, new meeting, and we shared with you what we'd done the previous year. And from October till the early part of March, things progressed pretty normally for us. But then COVID-19 reared its ugly head, and things kind of went into a downspin, and we've been struggling since then. But we've done some things, and we want to share that with you tonight as well. So in December of last year, we had our annual holiday home tour. We had the typical 5 homes with a tour and a boutique that we held in the purpose room at the library. And it was a great event, and it always is a fun Sunday afternoon for people to enjoy in the early part of December. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to hold that this year. We struggled for a while. We thought maybe we could make it, but it turns out that we weren't able to make that happen. But just know that if we can make it work next year, the people that we had on the list for showing their homes said they're willing to come next year. And the vendors that were there for our boutique are willing to come back again next year. So we'll keep trying. Also in December of last year, we held our first cookie bake sale. It was something that the Rotary had done for a number of years, and they stopped doing it. So we took it over, and it was very successful for us. The other thing we did in December of last year was held our quality book sale, where we offer up books that are almost brand new, a lot of them still in wrappers, and perfect for gift giving, sitting on your coffee table, those kind of things. And it's also a very profitable event for us. So we're actually now looking to see how we might be able to do that same kind of a thing in a different way this year. So stay tuned. We hope we'll have something in early December where you can come and purchase some of the quality stuff that we do have available. And 2020 started off okay also. We had one of the best winter book sales that we've ever had at the end of January. But then by the end of March, the state was in quarantine, the library was closed, and we were all staying home and staying safe, trying to figure out what our next. Part of that was we'd had our Wine, Wit, and Wisdom event planned for April. We had to cancel that. We had many people had our tickets. We had all our speakers online. Our caterer was ready to go, and we had to put all that to a stop. We were about ready to give back all of our money, and then we thought we'd give the people who had bought tickets the opportunity to donate to the library if they would care to. So we asked them if, rather than getting a refund on their money, if they would be willing to take or donate that money to the library. And over half of the people that had signed up were willing to do that. So we made money on a canceled event, which was a pretty good deal, we thought, and pretty good money. We know already that we won't be able to do a spring Wine, Wit, and Wisdom next year. We're even planning for that, but we're hoping that by the fall, we might be able to schedule an event, depending on what's going on in the state and in the country with regard to large gatherings and so forth. So we're keeping abreast of that. And if we can make it happen early next spring, we'll start the planning for something in the fall, and hopefully we can have the next event coming forward. The speakers that we're planning on being on the list this year have said that they would be willing to come back next year if we have an event. And so we're hoping that can happen. So sometime a little later on in the spring, the library opened up for drive-up window service. And when that happened, we were able to bring a few volunteers in on a small basis to start doing some of the things with our online sales that we need to do. Because again, our online book sales through Amazon is a very profitable opportunity for us. And getting a few of our online book sale people in to start listing books, getting books ready for shipping and so forth, really started bringing some money back into the coffers at that point in time. Then in June, the library opened up for grab and go, and we were able to start bringing even more of our volunteers back in to do sorting and shelving and so forth. Unfortunately, we were having a hard time figuring out where to store books that people wanted to donate. As you know, while people were staying home and staying safe, they were down in their basements and out in their garages, organizing and reorganizing and getting things ready to go various places. And one of the places they wanted to do was to bring a bunch of books to the library. And we had to tell them we couldn't do it because we didn't have any place to store the stuff. Well, John Smintek, our person who does all of our publicity, he says, well, what if we were to try to find some other way to store those books, like maybe get a U-Haul truck? So since John brought up the idea, we asked him to check it out. So John was able to talk to U-Haul, and they loaned us for 3 months a big U-Haul truck that we were able to sit out in our parking lot. And we had several sessions where we told people to come in on a Saturday morning from 10 to 12 and bring their donations. And boy, did they bring their donations. We loaded up that truck twice and unloaded it when we could finally get people together to sort and get those books shelved. So it was very valuable, and we thank you all for what they did for us. So we couldn't have large group gatherings, so obviously our used book sales were off the market. Our library store is a very nice operation, but it is fairly small, hard to get a large group of people in there. Our lobby book cart, which was out in the lobby every day for 4 hours, had a volunteer sitting there taking care of things. And we couldn't figure out a way to keep the interface between the volunteer and the public properly distanced. So we started thinking, what could we do to handle those issues? So the store is now conducting shopping sessions by appointment most days of the week. You call the store and you tell them you'd like to come in, and they'll set up a time for you to come in and spend some time shopping. If you aren't comfortable with face-to-face shopping, they've also been using their Facebook page to highlight various things that are available for sale, and people can purchase them online. And they've even set up an operation where they can have curbside pickup for the stuff that's being purchased. So that's been a very positive thing for our operation. As far as the lobby book cart goes, instead of the volunteer operation that we had before, we've now moved the carts over by the store, and there is no volunteer there. We have it as a self-serve honor system. There's a locked box sitting on a table next to the book carts, and you can put your money in there. We ask for exact change. If you are not able to purchase or doesn't have the right amount of money to purchase at the time you're there, take the book and bring the money back later. We trust everybody. And once a day, we have a volunteer come in to collect the money, and then they restock the cart, getting it ready for the next 24-hour period. And that's been being very successful for us as well. So what about our used book sales? We can't have the large sales like in the past. So starting October 1st, we set up book sales by appointment only. 1 day a week, sometimes twice a week. We've set up a session where we allow 10 shoppers into our used book room at a time. They get to shop for 30 minutes. Then we have a 15-minute break in between so that we can clean carts and get things ready for the next group of people. And we have 3 different sessions each evening. So a total of 30 people get a chance to come in and shop. We've been doing that, like I said, once a week or sometimes twice a week since the 1st of October. And that's been going very well. Prior to that, back in the end of August and in September, we did a similar process where we invited used book sellers, we invited dealers, and a couple times we invited teachers to come in and purchase books, again, by appointment only. And that was very successful. We asked that each person that comes in spend a minimum of $10 on their books, which hasn't been a problem because we got so many good things on the shelves, thanks to our community. We appreciate that. Hasn't been an issue for anyone. So if anybody would like to sign up for one of those shopping center sessions in our used book room, go to the Friends website and on the library webpage, and there is a link right there where you can go and sign yourself up for one of those sessions coming up. Right now, we've got them scheduled out through the 3rd week in November. So sign up and come shop. And the other thing we've been doing is we've been continuing our little free lending library sales. We're selling those for $325 each. Those have been fairly successful. We've sold about a dozen in the past year. When you purchase the item, it comes unfinished, so you get a chance to finish it to your specification as far as painting or decorating, however you want to do it, because we know everybody has their own idea of what they would like it to look like. We do provide a starter kit of books that people can use. And then once they get that going, hopefully it's take a book, leave a book, but sometimes it's take a book and they don't leave a book. So you can always come back and shop at one of our by appointment sales if you keep more books in your little free library. So those are the things that we've been trying to do over these past several months, and the money hasn't been coming in like it used to at our used book sales, but it is coming in and at a fairly good rate. So we appreciate that. Hopefully, as we get a chance over these next few months to see how we're doing, it won't be as bad as we originally thought it was going to be when we couldn't do any of these things. And hopefully, things will open up here in 2021 and we'll be able to get back to normal. The other way you can support the library and the Friends, I guess you're supporting the Friends and we support the library, is if you want to look at it that way, is by using Amazon Smile for any of your Amazon purchases. We are signed up to be one of the beneficiaries of Amazon Smile. It doesn't cost you anything. If you set us up as the charity you'd like to support when you buy something through Amazon Smile, they give us money back. They give us 0.5% of whatever your purchase total is. So far, we've had 57 people sign up to do that for us, and we've brought in about $450. So if we get more people, obviously that'll continue to grow. And then finally, I wanted to remind you of our 5th annual participation in Giving Tuesday, which is an event that they have each year where people give a chance to give back to charities around the country. Similar to Black Friday and Cyber Monday, this is one that's focused on charities. This year it's going to be December 1st. If you feel like on December 1st you'd like to be charitable and give the Friends a donation, just go to our Friends tab. There's a link that says Donate to the Friends. You can click on that and put Giving Tuesday in the reason why you're giving, and we'll take that money and use it to benefit the library. Matter of fact, you can get all kinds of information about the Friends if you go to the Friends tab on the library website. What we accept for donations, what kind of volunteer opportunities we have, all of our newsletters for the past several years are on there as an archive. So a lot of things you can see just by going to that particular page. www.rhpl.org and click on the Friends tab. So thanks everybody for your support. We aren't sure what's going to happen over this next year. It'll be interesting to see what kind of an annual meeting we have in 2021. But whatever happens, we know that with your support, we'll be able to provide support for the best library in Michigan. And there was one thing that was listed on the video that Julianne showed. It was talking about National Friends of the Library Week. This is that week. It's the 15th year that United for Libraries has done a National Friends of the Library Week. Friends are dedicated to helping their libraries through fundraising and by being ambassadors for the library in the community. And I think we've done a fairly good job of that over these past number of years. And we thank the United for Libraries organization for recognizing what Friends groups are. That's my story. Next item on the list is to talk about the Volunteer of the Year. This is a story where Anne Grunwald, our used book sale chairperson, was originally going to be making this presentation, but she had a family thing come up and she couldn't. The person who is our Volunteer of the Year this year couldn't be here. She's going through some health issues right now and couldn't join us.
Have to stay.
but her name is Lorien Birowitz. Lori has been
you might want to
working as a friend for the past 20 years. She started out as a book sorter, but Lori is sort of a super book sorter. She is a dynamo when it comes to sorting books. She can take a look at a book and know instantly whether it's something that's worth putting on the shelf, whether it's worth putting in quality, whether it's worth putting on the cart. She knows instantly without, the rest of us have to use a scanner to figure out whether this is something that might be worthwhile. She knows immediately. So she's amazing at that. One of the things she did was she reached out to the library staff and she said, you know, oftentimes we get donations of books that are brand new, like here it is 2020, and we get a book that was just released 2 months ago, and somebody is already donating it to the library. Is that something you could use? We have been able to give hundreds of books to the library over the years since Lori started that well, we get those books for free. The library, if they were going to be purchasing one, would be spending $20, $25, $30. So by us giving us those brand new books, they're able to get them into circulation, especially for some of the real popular things. And that's been very beneficial. So Lori was the one that started that for us. Also, for the last few years, Lori has been the quality coordinator. And these are books that we get that are first rate, very recent, and very good quality. And they are something that we would like to sell for more than the $1 a book in the used book sale or the $2 or $3 a book on the lobby cart. So there's a whole section of quality books in the book sale room. And when we have our quality sale that we usually do in December, all those books and those book sets, Lori is the one that coordinates all that along the way. It takes a lot of effort to figure out what sets ought to be put together. What kind of, are there authors that if you put 2 or 3 of their books together in a package, people would be more willing to spend a little extra money than if they were buying them one at a time, those kind of things. And Lori puts a lot of effort in researching, selecting books to make up the set. Countless hours, even in her illness, she's been coming into the library on the weekends, trying to do some things just because she's such a dedicated trooper. So it's only with dedicated people like this that we're able to have the volunteer operation that we do have through the Friends. And we would like to salute Lorien Birowitz as our 2020 Volunteer of the Year. Once she is feeling better, the board will plan on having a special ceremony for her, giving her some certificates and pins and things like that. So thank you, Laura. Sandy.
Yes.
Do we have any tallies about our election?
Well, the nays have been tabulated and I didn't find any. So with no opposition, the officers and members of the Friends of the Rochester Hills Public Library have been approved for the upcoming 2020-21 year.
Thank you very much. All right. Kimberly and Bill, you don't get off the hook.
Who said I wanted to?
Okay, it's been mentioned a couple times about 2021 being the 60th anniversary for the Friends. Our articles of incorporation were filed with the state of Michigan on January 24th, 1960. We started out as the Friends of the Woodward Memorial Public Library. We became the Friends of the Avon Township Public Library, and then we assumed our present name when Rochester Hills became a city. So since it's our 60th anniversary, we're going to be planning some events in 2021. We don't have them all scheduled yet. We aren't even sure what they all are yet. We do have a couple things that we're working on very strongly right now that we'll be sharing with you right after the first of the year, and a few more things coming as the year progresses. It's been fun to be part of it these last 10 years, 60, and looking forward to spending much more time. That brings our meeting to a close.
Timing is everything.
I'm just glad it wasn't me again.
If there's anything that anybody would like to comment on or say, we're going to leave this link up for a while so that you can put a chat in, and we'll get back with you with any questions or comments you might have. But other than that, thanks everybody for joining, and
Ron.
Forward to the next year.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks,
You've
everyone.
done a great job.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you, all of you.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody.
Good night.
Thank
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, all.